Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be ignoring women or your exes who are trying to come back or who have started contacting you recently. If you constantly ignore them, it will cause them to give up and go away for good. And it's a good email to talk about because I see this quite a bit in guys that have walked away from their ex. When the ex starts contacting them again, instead of making a date, they just keep ignoring them. And it's like, I don't know what they're waiting for. If you're in that situation, your girl's contacting you, what you got to understand is women will put themselves into your orbit, but they still expect you as the man to gently lead the relationship or the interaction to where you want it to go. So they'll call you and they'll reach out and they'll tell you things that they were missing about, that they miss you or that they want to see you again or they were thinking about you or that they hope you're well or they just wanted to call and see what you're up to. The real reason they contact you is that they're hoping that you're still single and that you'll arrange for the two of them to get together. And if you don't do that, I see guys just ignoring the girl when she reaches out and expecting her to go, hey, I was thinking about you and you know what, I want to see you, so I'm going to set a date. How does 8 o'clock on Wednesday work for you? Does that work good? Because I'd really like to get together with you on Wednesday and have sex with you because we haven't had sex in a couple of months. Seems like that's what you're waiting for a woman to do. You're the one with the penis. She's expecting you to arrange these things. She's expecting you to arrange the date, and when you're having a great time together, make a move and seduce her. Facilitate where you want the interaction to go because she doesn't want to look bad. She doesn't want to put herself out there and say, hey, I want to see you, and then you go, I don't want anything to do with you. She doesn't want to take the risk of getting rejected. That's why she'll kind of dance around the subject. And I see guys doing that, guys dancing around the subject instead of making a date with women. And what's happening is the girl calls, and instead of acting like a man and making a date, they just kind of dance around the subject and wait for the woman to make the first move. It's a bad way to go. And I've got this email here from a viewer, and he says, I'm in a situation where I was with my ex for 3 years, and we broke up about 7 months ago, and she started getting cold and distant while we were still together. Eventually, she broke it off. I didn't hear from her for the first 2 months. I stepped back, and I let her do her thing, and I did mine. I started talking to other females, and I even hooked up with a couple. Good job. That's what you're supposed to do, man. He said, because any self-respecting man who says, I am a catch and I have a lot to offer somebody, is not going to sit around and wait for a girl to get her head together or figure her shit out. He's going to go on about his life and give another woman the pleasure of his company. He says, but as time goes by, my ex started contacting me again. At first, I started reading your books or watching your videos, and I never tried to make an opportunity for sex to happen. So I acted more cold towards her. So I didn't hear from her for about 2 weeks, so she sent me a text saying, I got a question. He says, I reply yes, and she says, do you believe me when I say I love you? And I go, I believe actions, not words. And she sent me this long text, blah, blah, blah. So in other words, she's basically communicating to you, I love you and I care about you, and she's hoping that you'll go, oh, she loves me and she cares about me. Hey, when are you free to get together, baby? She's hoping you'll do that. Why? Because she assumes that if you really like her and you really care about her and there's a chance for the two of you to get back together, that you'll plan a date, just like you used to do in the past. But when you just constantly ignore her, over time she starts to think, oh, wow, I guess I've blown it and he doesn't want me anymore. Maybe there's another girl in the picture. And so she starts to think, okay, well, if it's not going to work out with him, let me get another guy lined up, just in case it doesn't work out with him. So he says, down the road, she meets this guy that I guess apparently she goes to school with, and they just started talking about 2-3 months ago. He says, I knew this, but I didn't pay it no attention, and so my ex still hit me with the I love you text every other day. I mean, it's like she's constantly reaching out to you. She's constantly pursuing you. And you're not making any dates. It's like, come on, dude. It's like she's serving herself up on a silver platter to you. And you're just like, you're dancing around in circles going, nom. Well, hopefully she's going to ask me out on a date sometime. It's like you basically assumed the role of the woman at this point. It's like women are not going to be the men in the relationship. They don't want control. They want you, the man. You're the one with the penis. It's up to you to lead the action to where you want it to go. He says, so one day I woke up to a text message saying, hey, I love you. And I just replied with a smile. And she started to ask if I remember this. And and that I just came out and say, hey, next weekend, my place, me and you, like old times. And she said yes. And I said, okay, I'm going to talk to you later. I would have just said, hey, why don't we get together? When are you free? ? And send that. Instead, you're like, oh, I'm going to dictate. We're going to get together next weekend. That's the way it is, woman. And like, you're going to order her around. It's like, come on, dude. Just say, hey, I would love to see you too. I miss you. When are you free to get together? And then great, plan a definite date. Just have something simple. Have her come on over to your place. Because you're basically saying, hey, why don't you come over to my place? I'm going to fuck you like old times, but I don't want to get back together with you. Because that's basically what you communicated to her. And she's like, I love you. And you're basically acting like, I just want your pussy again. And there's another guy that she's hanging out with. And women want to be in a love story. And so there's no love story in I just want to fuck you. And think about it. That's what you're communicating to her. Women want to be in a love story, and you're saying, oh, I just want some pussy. And so she's looking at who she has a stronger emotional connection with. And so she's like, well, obviously we're not going to get back together. He just wants to fuck me again. And I can women know that they can pretty much go out any night of the week and get laid if they want to. And so you're not really offering her something that she doesn't usually get from a guy. She wants you. She wanted you to create an opportunity for sex to happen so you can hang out, have fun, and hook up, and maybe get back together. So he says, in 30 minutes later, she replied, I'm excited about next weekend. And then the next day she called me asking to come over, but I was busy. But then 2 days later, she updated her Facebook picture to this other guy who she's talking to. And he says, I haven't heard from her for a week. Where did I go wrong? And what can I do to get her interest level back up and not miss the opportunity again? Well, you kept ignoring her. And instead of making a definite date, you're just like, oh, hey, next weekend we're just gonna fuck all weekend. And then you didn't make a date. It's like that's where you went wrong. And so obviously this other dude is making dates and hooking up with her, and you're just ignoring her. So obviously she's gonna eventually assume that you just want to fuck her and you want to get a release, and that's it. And so in her eyes, there's obviously more opportunity for romance to happen with this other dude. In other words, there's more opportunity for a love story to happen with this other guy. And that's why she's chosen you over him. So next time she reaches out, just say, hey, baby, great to hear from you. I want to see you. When are you free to get together? Let her tell you, and then make definite plans. And definite plans means she says, yes, I'm going to come to your house at 8 o'clock, and I'm going to bring a bottle of wine, whatever. I mean, she's telling you specifically what she's going to do. It means definite plans means you have a definite day and a definite time to get together. So if you have a question you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which will be on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, and just give me several weeks to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, on my website, underneath the email sign-up box, is a box that has a link that'll take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, just download one of their free e-reader apps for whatever electronic device you want to read my book on. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters, the articles on my website, or my ebook, you can show your appreciation right now by going to my website, and on the Wikipedia toolbar at the bottom of your screen, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.